Hi everyone. Today I'd like to talk to you about yantras and how they are a shortcut to success, right? So I'm going to start by talking about what is a yantra. So yantra is a Sanskrit term, and Sanskrit is an ancient language, which means machine. So a yantra, and I'm going to show you an example of one. A yantra right here. A yantra is a small, high-powered divine energy machine. It is made of copper. If you take a look at this plate, it's thin, so you can see how thin it is. It is made of copper. Why copper? Copper is a great conductor of energy, right? If you, for example, think about your cell phone, okay? So this is a cell phone cord. I have an iPhone, and if you look at it, at this cord, I plug it into the wall. There's one end I plug into the wall, which is the energy source, and the other end distributes the energy. So if I were to take off this plastic, black plastic coating, what you'll see underneath there are wires, and many of the wires are copper. Copper is a great conductor of energy. Not only electricity, which is energy, but also divine energy as well. So that's why copper is chosen as a conduit, for spiritual energy. And think about it, your yantra works very much like your power cord for your cell phone, right? So with a yantra though, if you take a look, you can see that there are sacred geometric shapes and diagrams that are on it, as well as a writing in Sanskrit. Writing, I don't know if you can see the writing that well. Excuse me. This particular yantra is a Krishna yantra, and it's dedicated. It contains within it, based on the designs and the inscriptions and the Sanskrit writing, it locks in the energy of Krishna into this yantra. So these are very powerful. And very much like a telephone cord, a charge cord, the energy source is Krishna because of the inscriptions on it, and then it transmits that energy. So once the sacred geometry and the inscriptions are on it, it locks in that energy, as I said before, and that energy is transmitted. So if you have this yantra, for example, on your altar, or if you put it in a clean cloth and take it with you, you have the energy of Krishna with you. If you have a Krishna yantra, there are a lot of different yantras that you can have that represent different archetypes. So yantras actually come from yogic masters of the ancient world, where they spent years and months and weeks and years in meditation. Excuse me, and they also chanted mantras to receive divine revelations. And that's a great way, if you can do that kind of yogic practice, to obtain divine revelations. But you have to recognize that not everybody has time to do that. Most of the world can't do that, right? There are children that have to be raised. You got to go to work. You have to earn money. You have to educate people. We got to make food somehow, right? You got to cook food. So there's all these different activities, even just basically taking care of our physical bodies. Just that basic maintenance. There are things that we do. We come into this world, there are things that we have to do in this world. So not everybody can be a yogic master. But so in recognizing that, there are spiritual technologies that were created by these ancient yogis, and the yantra is definitely one of them. So the yantras have different purposes. It really depends upon the divine energy that is connected to it. This is the power of Krishna right here with, this particular yantra. So that means I have Krishna with me, whether he's sitting on my altar at home, or if I put him in a clean cloth and take him with me, I have Krishna always with me. And it's in a very physical way. right? It's a 3D representation of the god. So remember that archetypes are light beings, especially in the Hindu system and the Vedic traditions. Archetypes, gods and goddesses, in other words, they are light beings. They are also sound. They exist in a realm that we don't exist. They're not in the 3D realm as we are. But a yantra actually brings them into the 3D realm. And using a yantra for meditating and things of that nature, chanting, brings that energy into our physical realm so that we don't have to spend years and years and years to meditate or chant mantras to receive that energy. So it is a shortcut to success. And can you believe taking Krishna with you, everywhere you go? And Krishna was known to fight lots and lots of demons, right? A lot of mythological stories about him. He also represents love. Krishna and Radha, for some people, it's Krishna and Rumiki, represent divine love, divine unconditional love. And then also Dr. Pillai talks about Krishna representing wealth as well. So that's a wonderful way to have it. So, sometimes people ask me, well, why would I want to take the yantra with me? Why don't I just leave it on my altar? Well, you can leave it on your altar. And that's great because it's going to emit the divine energy there. So on your altar. But you can also take it with you for success. So think about it. You're in the job market and you're looking for a job and you really need a chance. Take Krishna with you. If you have a Krishna yantra, take the Shrimbrisi yantra with you. If you feel like you're going to go into a situation where you need protection, sometimes when people go to work, the work environment is really not conducive, it's very negative or something. Well, you can take a yantra, any yantra that can protect you. There's a Hanuman yantra. Hanuman does anything and he can protect you. You want to treat your yantra as you would the actual deity, right? This is their representation. It's not just diagrams or pretty, inscriptions or something. This is actually Krishna here in this yantra, and that's how you want to treat it. So one of the ways, and how do you use it, right? So I said you can use it in meditation. So this is a pretty large yantra, I think 3 or 4 inches or something. I can place it in the palm of my left hand. You want it facing up. It looks like the right hand in the video, but it's actually my left hand. And then you put your right hand over it. And then I could say a prayer to Krishna. I could chant Krishna's mantra. I could do a Krishna meditation. And that power is not only in between my hands, but also go into my hand chakras and, throughout my body. I can also put it in a cloth, nice clean cloth, and carry it with me, carry it on the job. Krishna is also a protector. So if you think you're going into a situation where there's a lot of negative energy or whatnot, always practice safety, right? So I don't want you to test it out and I'm going to go to the bad neighborhood and carry Krishna yantra with you, just be smart. But, carry Krishna's yantra with you, if you are seeking protection. It could be Krishna, it could be anybody, any of the archetypes. A lot of protective archetypes. It could be Shiva yantra and whatnot. So that's, if you're going on a job, you're going on a job interview, take the yantra with you. The yantra could do a lot of help for you. Now, it's not like you have to take the yantra and pull it out and tell the person, the interviewer, you are compelled to hire me. The power of Krishna, and implores you to hire me or something like that. You don't have to do it that way. In fact, they won't even know that you have the yantra with you. You just, you keep it in your bag. You don't even have to bring it out, and Krishna's energy is all around you. So no need to even tell anybody about that, okay? Or maybe, depending upon your workplace, you can take it and have the yantra with you at work, or you can take it in your car as you travel. And, there are a lot of reasons why you would want to take a yantra with you. So the other thing I'd like to talk about is how do you take care of your yantra? So what you want to do is that at least once a week or a couple of times, every couple of weeks, because yantras are going to get dusty, they're going to get dirty, and that you want to take a lime or lemon. This is good. Limes and lemons are good at removing negative energy, and you just rub it on there, just like this. Okay? Rub it on there. You're going to get a little bit of lime stuff on there, and then it helps to remove the negative energy, and then you just wipe it off, after you're done. So that's a great way of taking care of it. You know, make sure it doesn't get dusty. Remember, you want to treat it like the gods. So you want your gods to get dusty. You don't want them to be in a dirty environment or things of that nature. So, you know, keep your wits about you about that. Cleanliness is definitely next to godliness. What are some of the other things that you can do with it, like in terms of taking care of it, right? So I buy my yantras at the Palai Center and they come energized. Well, I want to keep that energy flowing, right? If I don't do anything with the yantra at all, or it's not protected or anything like that, it can just accumulate a lot of dust and dirt and things of that nature. So other ways, so like I said, cleaning up with the lime is good, but then there's other ways like the hydration ritual. What you do is that you pour water on it and that helps to activate it. I'll do another video about that to show you how to do that, but water helps to empower it. You can also provide food offerings to it. Think of the yantra as the statue of the deity, right? Of the archetype. And you can offer food items. So for Hindu deities, it's always vegetarian foods. Milk is okay in a vegetarian food, but not eggs. You don't want to offer anything with eggs in it. You can offer the favorite foods of the archetype if you know what they are. You can offer sweet foods to them. Now, I know a lot of people like sweet foods or sugar. It's bad for you. It does all this and that. But, you know, remember that the gods don't live in a body. So if it's sweet and tasty to you, it's going to be sweet and tasty to them, right? So you can offer them desserts like chocolates, and you know that helps to sweeten them. You know, think about it. If you're dating someone and you give them chocolates, you know, that's like, ooh, I like that. You know, makes them happy, right? You can also, want to, if you have an altar, you have a cup of water, you can have on there as an offering. You want to change the water every day. You don't want just stale water because, you know, you don't want water sitting around for 24 hours. You can even give it sweet water as well, you know, water with a little sugar in it. Remember, I said sugar is okay. What do you do with the offerings, you know, after you give it to them? After a few hours, you can remove the offerings. You can, if they're food items, you can eat it, okay, because it's considered blessed. Or if you don't personally want to eat it, you can give it to your friends or family and they can eat it and they'll be blessed with the power of the or the divine energy of the archetype. You can, the water that you have, you can give it to your plants, you know, water a plant, water your garden. It's blessed, right? So you want to be sure to do that. So one last thing about yantras in particular is that sometimes they can lose their shiny color. And so let me give you an example. So you probably have seen my video that talks about Shrim Brazil Yantra. You can see how golden it is and shiny it is and whatnot. Well, here's another Shrim Brazil Yantra that I've been given. And if you can see this, it's not as shiny, it's not golden, but still the inscriptions are on it. And it's still just as powerful. So it's okay if it looks a little, you know, tainted. It looks like there's some spots on it or whatnot. It doesn't mean that the yantra is no longer powerful. It is still powerful because, as you can see, the geometric designs and whatnot are still on it. So it's okay if it gets discolored. It is still powerful. It is still the representation of the deity. So now, why is this a shortcut to success? As I said before, you have the divine energy in a 3D format and it is with you. It is in your home if you have it on the altar. It is on your person. It is surrounding you and it is protecting you. So yantras truly are a shortcut to success. Namaste.